It shouldn't. We on here. We live. It should be
Oh,
good. I don't know what popped up for you.
I don't know
Hey
what.
y'all. Well, ain't nobody here yet. We good. Wait, am I gonna be able to see when people pop on? I should be.
I think so.
So
Do y'all know that Target
I
doesn't
did
sell
want
breast cancer awareness stuff anymore?
What?
Target doesn't sell breast cancer awareness stuff anymore.
Why?
No. I went to Walmart. Target don't sell stuff. They don't have it. They don't get it in. She said they stopped doing it.
let me so we on there. Hold on.
All
So I
right.
don't think we marketed
Hey.
this week, did we?
We not much. Hey, Beauty is her name.
We've been through a lot this week.
We had a rough
All
week,
of us has
baby.
been through.
But most of
Her
the
last
aunties,
one of us.
they're right. Amber got running late a little bit tonight, but that's okay. Hey, Beauty is her name. How you doing?
Yeah.
All right. So, y'all, this is our monthly live. Hi, Just Patches. This is our
Oh,
monthly
just
live.
Patches said, listen, he's sorry he had not been on here, but he will be back. So I'm glad he back this week because I didn't have a chance to tell him about my this foolish story I got to tell everybody.
Well, hey, y'all, welcome. Before we get to telling stories of what the auntie's been going through and talking about mental health stuff, this is our monthly live at the Clinical Cookout where y'all get to. That's Shea Butter Bay. Hey, girl. I'm so glad you made it. So, yeah, welcome. This is where y'all get to ask us mental health questions or bring up certain topics. And sometimes we talk about certain things, and sometimes we just freestyle it because it's alive. So we all been going through it, sound like. So I mean, it might be some freestyling tonight on the mental health of the aunties.
But first, we want to make sure that we honor everything that's going on in Florida. We understand that there are families being affected by the hurricane, both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. So our thoughts and prayers are with those families and friends.
Absolutely. I just checked in with my brother-in-law. He's in Miami. He said Miami is probably gonna be fine, other than a lot of rain. And he sent me it definitely looks storm weather. But people in Tampa and all those specific spots, our thoughts are with y'all. We hope that it lowers. I don't like the tracker. Did it hit yet? According to the tracker, it was supposed to hit this evening. So
Yep. Yeah.
hopefully everything
Yeah.
is good.
I'm hoping to just go ahead and get back down to a tropical storm because it's
Right.
like, it's a lot of death and destruction and, it's scary. Like I couldn't imagine my family being down there. And I have family there, but I couldn't imagine me and my, my immediate family and me and my kids being in the track of the hurricane. Because, you not only have to manage your anxiety. I got 5 kids. Like, I would have to manage all their anxiety. My husband's an anxious, a ball of angst. So
Yeah.
that just would, imagine the people that are going through that. So my hearts are with them.
Yep. And I think there's a third one forming.
Yes,
Maybe.
and tornado.
Yeah, there was a tornado. I was like, what is happening down there? Like, it is wild. That's what has been going on. So
it has hit according to the tracker. I've been tracking it because I'm just like, I got like everybody else. I got friends and family down there, so I've been tracking it. It has hit the West Coast shoreline for Florida. So. Yep. All right. Also, we want to highlight that we are in pink tonight for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are all in pink, right?
Yep. I sent flowers to someone today who they didn't have breast cancer, but they had cervical cancer. So be sure that, they'll get their flowers on Friday, but be sure that if you know somebody with cancer, be sure to, give them a small seed of hope, and by providing them something for this month. Doesn't have to be necessarily in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but just let them know that you are thinking about them because chemotherapy is difficult. Having a cancer diagnosis is heartbreaking sometimes for people. And it can change their whole world. So be sure to reach out and send out those people your love and light.
And remember, a lot of other months highlight different types of cancer too. So there are months that highlight other cancers in different colors for different types of cancer. So you can, anybody with any type, like Auntie Keish said, just continue to give them hope. It is a difficult process.
Right.
All right. So, okay. So for those in the comments, now my light went off. Hold on now. For those in the comment section, if y'all have something specific y'all do want to talk about, it's kind of on live. You can talk about anything related to mental health if you have certain questions about anything, whether that be diagnosing, testing, parenting, relationships, whatever y'all want to talk about. It's cool. So make sure y'all put that in the comments. And while y'all are figuring that out, we'll talk about some other things. So Auntie Suge, you was telling just Patches you had some stuff going on.
Listen, I got some tea, okay? And this is tea for everybody. And I'm okay with putting this out here because it needs to be out here. And I know that things that happen to us, you know what I mean? We're not in a vacuum. So something that can happen to me can happen to anybody. So my family moved. As you can see, there's stuff that's not on the walls and stuff yet. And I had found a job, a pretty good job too, before I even got to Colorado Springs. So we moved from Louisiana to Colorado. And so I get to Colorado, and I mean, it felt a little bit weird when I went up to the job. It felt good when I went up to the job. I'll say that. I kind of stopped in there just to make sure that I vibe and everything like that before I actually started. Like, before I'm like, okay, I'll start in 2 weeks, but I want to make sure that I vibe with everybody. So I got there. Me and the owner of the practice, we vibed really well, and she was like, I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. Hold on.
Hi, Auntie.
I'm sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Hi, Auntie. That's my auntie, y'all.
Hey.
Hey. So yeah, so she was like, I was like, I just want to make sure we still vibe. So I get to the practice and things are going okay. I met one of the girls and she seemed all right. And so I kind of sat up under her for the whole day, and I kind of observed and did testing. Um, Now I observed her do testing. Now the next day I met up with a different lady and I observed her do testing, and she was like, so I'm a little bit preoccupied because I just moved. I'm handling business. I'm handling business in Louisiana and in Colorado. My husband can't bring his phone into work, so it's on me. So I'm handling business with the school. So I had my phone out, and she was like, I really need you to put your phone away. So I said, okay. That was in like maybe like the first 20 minutes of me like shadowing her. For the rest of the week, I didn't touch my phone. I made sure my phone was on the other side of the room. I just like, let me just be attentive. Now I'm bored because it's nothing that I've never done before. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it out. So even the next day, I got with another lady. So by the end of the week, everybody was like, oh no, everything's fine. This is great. This is great. On Friday evening, I got a call that was saying, the ladies are concerned about you. And I mean, they are gravely concerned about you. These words were used to me. They are gravely concerned about you. And they just feel like you're not going to be able to write a report because you don't have the language to write a report. You're not going to be able to do the testing. And they've been doing it for 3 years, and you've just come in here and you haven't had the experience that they've had, so they don't even know if you're going to be able to do it. Have you ever done differential diagnosis? Like, are you familiar with these kind of things? Now these are all things that I've been trained in since 2015. She's got my Vita. She's got everything I've ever done. I've spoken at conferences. Differential diagnosis you do as a master's student. So I'm just kind of looking at her like, okay, so I'm listening to you insult me, like verbally insult me, and tell me that I'm not good enough and I'm not going to be able to do what these leaders are doing because they've been doing it for 3 years. Now, each and every one of us had the same exact credentials. Nobody was above anybody. Actually, Auntie Amber has more education and a license. She's more qualified than all of them. And we're colleagues. So she just went on and was like, I just don't think that this is going to be the place for you. I really was hopeful and I was really hoping that this would work out. And, this is not the phone call that I thought I was going to have, but everybody's so concerned about you. And you have this, you just moved and you have things going on in your life, and your life just needs to settle down. So I politely told her, this, your life needs to settle down. I just moved. It's probably not going to be settled down for a while. Um, I mean, if it's not going to work out there, that's fine, because I'm not in the business of begging to be where, to be in a space that I'm not welcome in. So, okay, it's fine. And it was an all white space. Yes, it was. And what you don't have the language told me, I don't speak like you. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. Told me, I'm thinking that I don't want you to do it. And you just don't have the experience that we have. So you can't say we don't have the education. You had to say, you don't have all these things to try and kind of tear me down. So it really was like a let me tear you down session. And oh yeah, I'm sorry, this is not gonna work out. And so when I told her I don't beg nobody for no job, and if this ain't gonna work out, then that's gonna have to be fine with me. She's like, okay. So then I get a call from one of the other ladies. Oh, and they said I was too worried about taking the psychology exam. You know, the exam that you need to be a licensed psychologist. That all of them were in there talking about taking. That she was gonna buy for testing materials for the whole office for to take. I was too worried about that, and I didn't take materials home and go and look at testing materials. Mind you, I had already done all this testing except autism testing. That's the thing that I was in there to learn. So, it's just sucked. I think the rejection, not necessarily like there was a lot of microaggressions in there, and I think some very overt racism. I think that it was covert just because I didn't have the chance to address it on my own, but I know what that was. You know what I mean? You don't have the language told me that I knew what that was. And I don't want to be in no space like that. And I don't feel like suing. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to cut ties. So then another girl came and she was like, hey, I'm going to need my study material back. So she comes, she was like, I wasn't taking it up there. I'm not coming back up there. So I'll meet you wherever you want me to meet you. So she comes to the house, parks her car, proceeds to get out the car, okay, because she going to come in. You're not coming in. You the main one that was so worried about me and didn't think that I was going to be able to handle it, and I didn't have the language to even write a report. So why would you be coming in my house? And my life needs to settle down. So she came, oh, did you get your roof done? I said, done. Here your stuff. Bye. She sat in the car for a minute before she left. It just befuddles me, like what people do behind your back and then in your face, they're totally different. So I'm this dumb girl who doesn't have the language, probably don't even understand how I got my degree, how I am where I am. But how are you? Oh, did you get your roof done? You fake care. So she got dismissed quick. It's been crazy.
Why you on here giving this girl your energy? She don't deserve it.
Not you popping in like that. No. Not you popping in like that. She was
hey everybody, I'm so sorry.
Chris.
I had to tell the story because I know that people, especially Black people, man, like we go in spaces and we get that. And like that's what happens to us, and we just kind of got to eat it. And so for me, I'm not worried about it because I know what God has for me. Something else gonna come up. Something else did come up. So I was just like, it was crazy to me. So now they're gonna have to watch me flourish and be looking stupid like the rest of the world every time they try to say you're not good enough.
Yeah, but it is a really good example of what we know still exists that we get told oftentimes doesn't still exist. This was a clear-cut discriminatory situation. A Black doctor, a Black female doctor at that, placed into a fully white space, who has all the credentials that everybody else has.
Same as everybody.
Already worked in this field. She left a place already doing this job and doing it well. So for you to now say you're worried that she won't be able to do the job when she gave you all the things you asked for that made you believe she could do the job in the first place, now it doesn't make sense and it doesn't add up. But people think that this doesn't still happen. Because what other reason could there be?
That's what I said. Because it wasn't based on skills at all. It wasn't based on your skills as a clinician. It's just based on your perception of this person from just meeting them and them observing you. Like, how is that even a valid reason to let somebody go?
And nobody even observed me with the test.
Anytime I've ever been under supervision, like, it's weird to have somebody observe for so long. Like, normally they'll give me a client and say, here you go, I want to see what you can do. And they're observing me directly, watching my skills as a clinician to determine whether I'm going to move forward or not. So it was just really weird that you didn't even get that opportunity. And I hate that for you, but you already know what's up. You already know what's going to happen after that. You coming out stronger. So
Yep, as usual. But I do want to know, has this happened to anybody? Like, I mean, have you experienced racial microaggressions and like, in the workplace and like undercover, covert, whatever? Like, it's everybody. Harv has asked that same exact question. Everybody was like, hold up, was you the only one?
I
Yeah.
sure
Yep.
asked.
That's all
I
we need
sure
to know.
asked. I said, was you the only one of us in there? That's the
Was
first
it?
question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But don't be fooled. Sometimes everybody that's skin folk ain't kinfolk either. And sometimes they get in those spaces and don't feel like they should be the only ones there, and may also engage in these type of discriminatory behaviors too. So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true.
And let's just consider the fact that even though we all are quite well aware that Auntie Suge will be fine, Auntie Suge is going to thrive regardless of this situation. We know that. That doesn't take away the mental health aspects of having to deal with a situation like this. To have worked hard to get where you are and to have credentials and to have doctor in front of your name, only to be looked at and seen as if you are not good enough, that's still something that affects us, even though we push and thrive and push through it. Like we're not gonna pretend like that's just something that we ever really get used to. Even though we're not shocked by it, it's like, why is this happening to me? Kind of thing. So it's a
Yeah, I
mental health.
think like mentally, because I wasn't upset about losing that job. When she was like, "This ain't gonna work," I honestly wasn't feeling it either, and that's 100% honesty. So when she said this is not gonna work, I was like, "It's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you, and I damn sure ain't gonna beg you." But I was upset about my money. She promised me a hell of a lot of money, and just for her to like renege on that promise. And then I was upset about the things that she said, like without even giving me a chance, like you're not going to be able to do this and you don't have the language. And I'm like, I don't need to walk around talking like I have a medical degree all day. That's stupid. That's what it really is. And it just shows that, are you really that smart? Why do you have to show everybody this is how smart I am? I have a doctorate degree. No, but you don't have to do that all day because you read my writing sample. Like, you know who I am. I know who I am. And I've been taught at my last office to drop the psychobabble, talk to people on their level.
right.
So just that you're not on the same level as everybody else, it kind of plays with your head because it's kind of like, okay, no matter how much and how, what it took for me to get in this space, I'm still not welcome. And that's what I think that's what it was.
Mhm. Mhm. Harv said, I'm in graduate school, and that's what concerns me about all white spaces for supervision. I ain't gonna hold you, Harv. I understand. I initially started out with a white female supervisor, and it was fine. It wasn't. I had moments in that space that I worked in. It was a group private practice in Colorado as well. Um, but I transitioned to a black woman supervisor, and there was drastic differences in just how I felt and how I was able to operate and not feel like I have to present a certain way or show up a certain way. So that is something that is a concern for a lot of students, especially if you're in grad school and you got to go into clinicals and do your internship. That is a concern.
Yeah. And well, the last office that I was in, at first I was in an all white space too. But it just depends on who you're working with.
Yep.
Um, you can be in one of those spaces and the people that you're working with can be, bastards. Or you can be in that space and the people that you're working with are okay. My last office was open. Whenever they said something that was weird, I was like, and I would slay somebody. And they were, what I mean, they weren't sensitive. My last boss even said, I appreciate your personality, like I like you. And so I think that when people are intimidated at you, that's when the change happens.
Yep.
Because we already know there is some fear. You
Mm-hmm.
might be better than me.
Yep.
When I heard I have 2 kids, I'm so overwhelmed. Do you have any kids? I have 5. People look at me like I'm crazy. So you might be thinking like, oh well dang, not only are you a black woman, but you out here with 5 kids, and I'm saying I'm so overwhelmed, and then here you come, you're black, you got the same degree as me, you're you know what I mean, you got more kids than me, you just moved, you're a military spouse. It probably could be pretty intimidating to some people who have low self-efficacy in themselves. Depends
Have
on
we
who you are.
all been dealing with somebody who feeling a certain type of way about what we got? I went through the same thing. Well, on a different situation. I feel like that's not talked about enough in these spaces about how educated people in general, educated women, how we're always taught to like lower ourselves or bring ourselves down here so we don't make somebody else feel uncomfortable. Meanwhile, we ain't even think about nobody else. I'm trying to keep my edges on my head. Like I'm trying to keep my A1C levels down. I don't really understand why you would be concerned about my education.
Why would
Like why would
your
you
edges not be on your
because
anyway?
I be stressed out. I be stressing myself out. I don't need to walk into a room and somebody is stressed out about me having a doctorate degree. Like my sister in Christ. I don't care. Like get out my face. I just don't understand.
No, I think oh, go ahead, Ash. Sorry.
Go ahead, Auntie Amber.
No, I was gonna say like I have been in that situation so many times where I've been in white spaces and it's not the white people that are the problem. It's the black people in those spaces with me that are the problem. And for me, from my experience, it has always been older black women. For some reason, they can't stand me. And so even if I'm the nicest person ever, even if I try to develop a relationship with you, because what we can folks, so like we're gonna stick together, right? No, I always get the worst reactions. And that has hit me hard at some points because I'm like, I would, even though I'm doctorate level and the women that I'm speaking about are master's level, they're counselors, they're licensed though. I'm still looking to you as like a mentor because you are an older person, an older black woman who's been in this field for however long. So I'm looking up to you and you're looking at me like I'm the problem. You're intimidated by me or angry because I came in and you think I'm trying to take your spot. I ain't even thinking about that. Like I'm looking to you like, hey, let's have a relationship. And I get that, back from them. So that has been my experience. It's always been the older black women that for some reason really just have a problem with whatever it is I'm doing, no matter how nice I am.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There are two things at play with both scenarios: perception and projection. So in Suge's case, projection, and Auntie Keish, and anybody who's experienced that where somebody thinks you are better, but if that's projection, that's like, I'm not thinking this. You are projecting what you are actually feeling on me, and you just don't want to say how you actually feel. You have problems. But the perception part where Auntie Amber is talking about. So I've come to see for the time that I've been in the field, and I am a master's level clinician. I'm a counselor. There is this automatic perception that anybody, not just another black woman, but anybody with PhD, with doctorate credentials, already thinks that they are not so much better than, but it's been this dynamic in the mental health and medical field that once you have that, you feel like, oh, this person is not as smart as you. It becomes competition when it shouldn't be. It should be collaboration. So there's already that perception of other people who don't have that credential of like, they automatically gonna think that they are in a higher position. So I don't like them without even getting to know them. That's my problem. Like, you don't know if that's how I'm going to be. And just because you've experienced that with other people before doesn't mean that that's how I'm going to be as a doctor in this space. But they automatically think. And then it's also when we talk about older black women and younger black women specifically, that's a whole nother dynamic. That's a whole nother element. Because now we're not talking about so much the discrimination and racism, but we're talking about the element of black women feeling like they are in competition with other black women because it can't be too many of us. Period.
Listen, I ain't on that.
Well, even with that, like with the projection that you're talking about, I have even had to check myself. Like I step back from the situation and I'm like, am I projecting onto this person? You know what I mean? Like I've even had like for a particular situation, I had to call Suge multiple times because I'm like, I need you to tell me, am I tripping? Am I projecting? Am I assuming this person's thinking this one thing and not, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it another chance. I'll give it another chance. I'll give it another chance. And it's still the same thing. It's always just this idea that like, yeah, like I think I'm better than you, when that's not the case. I'm actually looking to you for guidance, and you're shutting me down because I should know all of it because I'm a doctor, right?
Yep.
Well,
I was
no, you've been in the field for 12 years. I've been in the field for 4. Like, I don't know everything, no
Right.
matter what. So, like, I'm looking to you for guidance. You shutting me down. It really hits hard, and that like just makes me feel like hesitant to reach out to other Black clinicians, because I'm like, am I going to have the same experience every time? Like, I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah, I think we are. I think if we are all aware, we realize that we have to check ourselves sometime to see if it is us. And that's why it's good to have like people in your life that'll hold you accountable and tell you it is you versus it's not you. I know for me, I always have to check in to see if I'm projecting. Like I have to remind myself I'm not going to be in a space that I'm not supposed to be in. And just because I'm in a space with people who might be further along than me or might have more credentials than me doesn't mean I'm not supposed to be in that space. But you will start to question yourself. And that's when imposter syndrome and all these other things start to kick in. And it's not you. It's really not you.
Yeah. It's not a fun time. I've been reflecting on it because my 3-year anniversary is coming up at the end of this month of being, getting our doctorate. And I've been reflecting on how it's just not been a good time. And I'm like, it's not fun walking in rooms and people are telling you before you can even open your mouth, hey, there's people are going to be in here intimidated because you have a doctorate. Like, what? I can't even get a word out. Like, I can't even get nothing out. Like, it's just not been a fun time. And, my friends don't understand that. They were like, why don't you want to be called doctor? I was like, because I'm tired of people trying to test my knowledge. I'm tired of people trying to say, oh, well, who do you think you are? Or already making these assumptions about me and I ain't even opened my mouth yet. So I'm like, or people think I know everything, so they don't want to help me. I'm like, I still need help. Like, I don't know. It's just not been a fun time.
Oh, that came up for me. I asked somebody in a group that I'm in, a clinician group. I asked something. I can't even remember because it was a while ago. And the response was, well, you got your own private practice. You should already know that. Excuse me? Whoa, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I'm a forever student. Like, what do you mean? I'm forever a student.
Right. Like, I don't understand people who feel like anybody ever gets to a place where they know everything. Like, I had to tell somebody, you realize that no matter where you at in this field, you got to take continuing education credits. You are constantly having to learn things. Like, things constantly change. You will never know everything. When you meet somebody who feel like they know everything, that's somebody you want to stay away from.
Yeah.
So I was just like shocked by that. Like, what does that mean? Like, okay, like, no, you on your own, you independent. So I need help. That's really why I need help.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hi.
First time commentator.
Well, hello there.
First time commentator.
Long time viewer for everyone on the pod. What made or motivated you to go into therapy? And let me go first.
That's always such a great question.
Yes, it is. So just I would say adverse childhood experiences, adverse life experiences. I always wanted to know. And I think at maybe like age 11, I had read a story about a little girl named Elisa Izquierdo. And it's a very sad story. She was killed by her mother and her mother's boyfriend, even though her father wanted to take her back to Cuba. And so at like 11, I was very interested in forensics. So I've been looking at stuff like that since I was a little girl. Now, when I got older and stuff started happening, I started wondering what make people do the things that they do. I just want to know why people do the things that they do. And that's what kind of interested me in the field. Like, I want to know why people do what they do. What is wrong with people? And then I want to help girls like that.
I was already in social work. And my concentration was adult mental health. But honestly, I didn't feel comfortable going out into the field diagnosing people. So I felt like that was a very big thing to do. So I wanted to take it seriously. Not saying that there aren't clinical social workers out there who are not great therapists, because there are, but for me, I felt like I wasn't where I needed to be educational wise. So I went back for a doctorate, and also I went through something personal. And because I went through that personally, I was wondering how many other people who look like me are going through the same thing, but aren't able to verbalize it because they just aren't educated on the mental health verbiage. And so that's why I went back to school and got my doctorate.
For me, I had a family member, a very close family member, my uncle, who got diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was I believe I might have been in high school or maybe college, undergrad. And he was told that he probably needed to see a therapist along with medication management and things like that. And he flat out said, unless I find a therapist that look like me, I'm not going. And so me, being who I was, I'm searching for him. I'm looking, I'm searching and searching. And I'm like, okay, but it's not any therapists in this area that look like us. You got to go talk to somebody. And he wouldn't go. So that really drove me, because initially I went to school and I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. And that didn't pan out because I couldn't pass organic chemistry too. I'm not going to talk about that. But so I was like, I still want to help people. I want to help people. And I've always been interested in why, like Auntie Shug, why do people act the way they do the things they do? But when my uncle had that experience, I was like, we need representation in this field. Like, it's really not enough of us. And it's not fair that I can't find someone who looks like us for my uncle to get the help that he needs. And so I was like, well, maybe I need to be the change that I want to see. So I'll go to the field.
I just feel like all y'all's reasons are way more deeper, like deep. And mine ain't that deep. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. I was going to Johns Hopkins University, and I couldn't pass chemistry either. So, around the same time, my great grandma, she did get Alzheimer's, and I was fascinated with the way that your brain can completely lose those pathways in memory. So I started looking into that, and then I took a psychology class, and from there I was like, dang. Then I started working with kids, and I'm like, I like working with kids with behavioral problems because they respond so well to me. I learned behavior management, and from there it just goes. I think the one thing that motivated me to stay with it all the way to my doctoral degree is because my brother was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, but all the signs were there when he was a kid. And just looking back on how we all reacted and responded to his behavior, and like his difficulty with like getting schoolwork, we just like, try harder. Like, you're just not trying. You're just lazy. Like the way that we spoke to him, I was like, I really don't want other kids who are in that situation to have those experiences. So the work I'm doing now is probably the reason why I work with kids and families, is to help kids and their parents understand a lot of what's going on with them, to help them rather than putting them down and, putting them in a place where they can't feel like they can't do better.
Oh, see, you got a deeper meaning. Your grandmama, your brother, that's deep.
Well, after I started talking, I started to see it does go a little deeper than that.
And listen, and me, I'm on the fence with going back. Listen, I keep saying I want to, and then I'm like, I don't, and then I'm on the fence with it. The only reason I would want to is to be able to supervise up and coming students so that they can get into this field thinking differently than what has been taught up to this point. So I wouldn't even go back for what the aunties here do. I would go back for clinical supervision, because that's always something that I wanted to do, is help other up and coming students through this experience.
And you can just get your clinical supervision through the state and save your money.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I feel like if you would do a doctorate, that would, like, you would have to have the mental, like, it's hard.
It's hard.
I wouldn't do it over again. I don't think I would go back. If I had the choice back then, I would have found some other way to get here. I don't think
Listen,
I would.
I ain't gonna hold you. I can do hard things, but I don't want to. I want people to realize it's okay to say you can do a thing, you are capable, but you just don't want to. That's okay. Mentally, that has to be okay. I don't want no hard things right now. I want to soft life.
Two of my master trainers, my state director and another master trainer I work with, was like, yeah, I've been floating around the idea of getting a doctorate. I said, listen, you can go get that doctorate, but I'm here to tell you right now, you better have support, like on lock. I say, because life is going to continue to happen to you. And them schools do not care. You better keep moving through that program. And I was like, it's hard. It's the toughest thing I've ever done. I done been through some hard stuff, but this ain't nothing like it. Nothing even compares.
And it doesn't stop after you graduate. It doesn't stop. Graduation don't mean nothing. you still,
It don't stop.
you still gotta get some supervision. You gotta get to do the licensing exam.
Right.
Even
It
after
don't
that, you gotta
stop.
get licensed. Like it does not
Right.
stop. And
It's ongoing.
And even after you get licensed, now that you licensed, everybody's like, oh, so now you can do everything. Now you can
yes,
everybody.
now you get more work.
Now
Do
you
it.
get work.
No,
I
I
thought
can't.
I wanted to work less. I will be honest. The flexibility and even like just knowing that it goes with you everywhere you go. So like if you move to another state or move somewhere else, you'll always find a job. You know what I mean? Like that's
We'll
I
never
guess
be out
that's
of
the
job.
good part. You gonna have a job no
Right.
matter
You
what.
gonna have
And
a job.
it's gonna be well paying for the most part. So
Yeah.
Ash said, "Hi, Ash Green." Every time I say I want to get my doctorate, I think about all the times I cried getting my master's. Listen, the funny thing is, my master's experience wasn't that bad.
I would do my master's over twice.
It wasn't bad. I literally had my last child finishing my master's. Like I was pregnant and went in labor, taking a final.
Master's
So
breeze.
it wasn't bad. But that doctorate, I done heard too much, and I'm like, I don't want hardness in my life right now. I don't need.
You can do it. Anybody who wants to go get their doctorate, everybody has a different experience. You can do it. I mean,
me and Shug
anything.
had our babies at the same time in our doctoral program and still fit.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's just tough. I just really wish they were honest about it being tough. And they just wasn't, I felt like didn't give us as much preparation before we got into it. So you can do it.
Nobody
Gosh,
prepared.
Ashley.
Just edges falling out. Mine wasn't, but I felt like they was.
That student loan bill will make you cry though. I ain't gonna hold you. Just Pat
will.
said that hopefully we get some more subscribers because he's streaming his Wednesday group. Yay. Okay. Support.
Share with your friends.
Yes, indeed. That's something, you know what? That's something that has come up several times this week. And I wanted to ask the aunties and our viewers today about this specific thing.
Thank you, Ash. Go ahead.
Support. What people really struggle out here to say what support looks like for them. I've noticed that. And a lot of people are feeling as if they are not being supported. And I shared a meme the other day that said, your friends still love you. They just going through it right now, just like you are. Because like everybody seems to be going through a lot. And me and Shug talked earlier today, and she had been calling me this week. And I had been answering because I've been out of it. So I was like, I've been a horrible friend cousin. She made up a word about what that is. But I was like, I've been a horrible
frozen.
I've been a horrible frozen to her because I've been going through my own stuff mentally and I have just been isolated and zoned out. Like when I tell you I haven't been answering the phone for too many people or I've been texting back super late, like that's just where I've been. But I realized that, yes, even though I've been going through it, that's fine. But I still am the type of person that likes to show up for people in my life. So when I talked to Shug earlier, I was like, man, I'm sorry. I have been pretty horrible. But we all, like a lot of people have been going through it. So what does support look like when you are going through it or when you don't have the capacity?
That's why you tap into multiple people for your support.
Right. She told me she had been calling y'all, so I didn't feel as bad. I said, you fine, you had them.
When I talk to my clients about support systems, I always talk to them about having multiple people to pull from. Because if you have just one best friend that you go to for every problem in your life, you're going to start draining that person. And then what if that person is not available? Then you have now have no social support whatsoever. So you can kind of like spread it out among the people in your life. And that doesn't mean you're telling all of these people all your business. So like your best friend gets the heavy stuff, your other close friend gets the heavy stuff. But then if you're struggling with like money, I don't know, or like something happened that day and you just really just need to vent or whatever, you have people in your social support system for that. And these aren't just friends. It can be family members, can be colleagues or coworkers that are part of your support system, but making sure that you're spreading it out so that if Ashley is going through it and Ashley's not able to give me the support I need, now I have Shug, or now I can call my mama, or now I can reach out to so-and-so. So I'm not just left like, Ashley, you're a bad frozen. because you're not giving me support and I need it.
He is a trifling present for that, but I forgive her.
He was like, you wasn't answering your phone. I said, well, Lord.
Oh, I like this. A community of accountability partners. Yes, just patches. Love that.
Yeah.
Yes, beauty.
I think I did. I think when you know your support, I know that Ashley goes through it, and I know she's been going through it lately. So I just was like, okay, she don't have the capacity. Because sometimes people don't have the capacity for your stuff either, because they only have the capacity for themselves, and you got to recognize that too. So I knew, like, she going through it. Like, it's just, I'm gonna have to call somebody else, and that's what I did. It's like no harm, no foul. I just need to get it out.
I'm out here having hot flashes and jumping in Walmart freezers. Like I genuinely, I just wasn't there mentally.
That's
hot flashes said I'd be in the store freezer. Y'all don't even understand.
So just in case you get a news report that there's a lady in a freezer, you might think it's Auntie Ashley.
It's probably
it might be Auntie Ashley.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it's Walmart freezer. I sure was. That hot flash hit in Walmart near the ice cream, and I made myself one with the ice cream. Understand me?
I'm so not ready for that. Like, I am so not ready for that.
Listen, I got a glimpse, so I already know I'm gonna be right in that freezer too. Except I'm gonna be in the yogurt aisle. That's what I'm gonna be.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about when women hit that change in their life. Perimenopause, menopause. It's not an easy thing mentally. We got an episode coming out about that too. Stay tuned. Desire does not always equate ability. Ooh, you can have all the desire and just not have the ability. That is so true.
Yep.
So, for the people watching, what is going on in y'all lives? What mental health concerns or questions do you have? We've been talking.
Right.
What's going on?
That's what the aunties is going through. All of us through it.
All of us going through something.
Right. Because we human just like y'all. We go through life situations just like y'all. We need support just like y'all do. We
don't have it together all the time just because we work in this field, baby.
Right.
And we have therapists just like y'all. Do you got a therapist, Shug and Keith? I mean, Ashley and Keith?
We don't worry about what I got going on. Okay. We're going to talk about that later.
It
is very important for us as mental health professionals to have our own mental health professional.
I'm working on it.
So for those of you in the field who feel like I know all the strategies, I got this. This is my job. I got education in this. It is not the same when it is applied to your own life. So you do need the outside person, the objective observer, to come in and help you out a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to reach back out to my life coach to see if she's taking new clients.
Yeah,
God bless you, doctor, while having a family. Oh, yes, God bless us. Thank you, Christina, because that was not it.
Listen,
do not recommend 0 out of 10. Will not do it again.
It was one of the craziest things I witnessed two people do. I was like, having a baby in a doctorate program.
I don't know what me and Suge were thinking. I don't know, because
on the floor and y'all was having babies.
Look, traveling all the way to Arizona and where else?
Florida.
Dallas, Florida, with the kids.
You look back at that. That is absolutely crazy.
When I look back on it, I think about how much work that took. I would not. Those were my younger days. I had a lot more energy back then. I'm getting a little older now. Ain't doing all that. Congratulations, Hogan family, and good luck. You got this. Don't listen to us.
Listen to us, so that way you're prepared. So that way you know to put in the strategies and the resources that you need before you hit the rough spots.
Yes, and also for most, I'm gonna say it like this: people can get into a program and they can do it. You can do it. Like I said, I think people are capable of whatever they put their mind to. But also, when you do something like that, Auntie Amber and Auntie Shug, along with myself, Auntie Keish, like, you got to have support. Like I know that if I wanted to do it, I could just because of the system I have. That's how. My husband is in a doctorate program right now. He just started.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went back. He went back for his doctorate.
What's he going for?
Oh God, what is his doctorate in? Oh, he's at Eden Seminary College, which is a theological. So I know it's
He
something.
gonna be a pastor.
He actually he is adamant that is not why he went back for it, but he went back,
I
and
can't even see Elijah.
and the
doing
crazy
this.
thing is he is stationed
You can.
overseas right now on an overseas assignment. When I tell you this man goes to bed at like 10 and then is up for class at 1 because of the time difference, he gets up at 1 a.m., does the online classes because he has to attend the classes, and he is doing schoolwork until he goes to work at 8, and then he working, and then he get off work, he go to the gym, he do schoolwork, he go to sleep for a minute, he get up for class. I'm like, sir,
Then
okay, all right.
ain't no way.
He doing it though.
Mhm.
I support him. When you want to do something, you will do it, and he wanted to do it. So I'm like, go ahead.
Wow, I did not know he was interested in doing that.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's
All
interested in the community aspect of spiritual religion and theology. Like he really wants to be heavily involved in the community from an advocacy point. So that's why he went back.
That's awesome.
I be in his congregation. I'm saying, preach, pastor.
Jail. You deserve jail time. Shit.
Prison immediately.
How mad at me would y'all be? Because I have been back to back today, and my kids now need a bath and to go to bed. Would y'all be mad if I hopped off a few minutes early tonight
Nope.
to get my house in order? Because
Absolutely not.
I'm losing my energy. I'm about to.
What would it look like for us to say, absolutely not, Amber, you cannot leave. This is where you're supposed to be. Like, no, your mental health doesn't matter, ma'am.
I just needed to make sure we good because I just gave y'all my last little bit of energy. I saw how I was up in it, and now it's gone. Yeah. Oh, we have I will answer this question,
You're like, I'll stay real quick.
and then I will go.
All right. Christina said, how do you all take care of yourselves in the field while treating so many clients? You listen to so many problems, and some issues can be triggering.
Oh, that was very hard to learn how to do, but I am at a point now where I have learned how to leave work at work and not bring it home with me, because I used to worry about my clients when I would come home and I would be like, oh my gosh, this person was suicidal. I wonder if they're thinking about it. Like, should I text them and check on it? So I have learned to separate home and work. And also I have learned to reduce my schedule when needed. So there are points where it's popping. Like I'll increase my schedule a lot for like the summertime. But then when I feel like I need to like reduce so I don't burn out, I'll do that. So my schedule kind of fluctuates throughout the year. And then the other piece is I have my own therapist. So if there is something that triggers me in a session with a client or something that I'm having a hard time with, like mentally processing, I will hit up my therapist and ask for a session that week or that day or what have you to process those things out loud and get it off of my brain so I can continue with my work moving forward. That's what I do.
Very similar. You have to learn boundaries, and that was hard for me in the beginning because, like Dr. Amber, it was like I've realized that people who get into this field because they really care about people and want to help people, they often struggle with that boundary initially. It's like, I'm worried about my client. Like, they need access to me so they can check in if they need to. I had to learn real quick I couldn't do that because I didn't have the capacity for anybody else in my life because of it. So I had to make it to where, no, I have a cutoff time. That like I worry about it tomorrow when work starts, and I can check in tomorrow. I have had a therapist, my own therapist, along the way a couple of times. When you move, you got to get new therapists because of licensure and such. But another thing I do too is I find what things to escape that are like not unhealthy, but just ways to escape. Like I'll escape into books or movies or even social media, celebrity stuff. Like I'll escape in those ways so that I'm purposely not having to think about my clients all the time and their problems. And if something triggers me, that's when I'll call like Suge or one of the aunties or a supervisor if I have a supervisor at the time. Like you have to make it so that again your support system is there when you need it.
Yeah. I would say I probably do the same thing, take care of myself by, engaging in my hobbies. Listen, I'm the type of person that's quick to get on the flight. Like I'm the auntie where a flight hate to see me coming because I'm gonna book that flight. If I don't do nothing else, I'm booking the flight to take a vacation. I've also been learning how to listen to my body. That is one thing that I've never done before, but now I can notice when I have physiological changes. Like if I'm like my heart starting to beat fast, if I start being sweaty, if I can feel my temperature rising because I'm getting upset, then I'll start to be like, okay, something changed. You were triggered by something, or you may be worried about something. Maybe it is time for you to consult with a colleague, maybe with the aunties, because as you know, we are all allowed to consult with each other. And also, if I need to talk to a supervisor, then I will do that. But I have been so focused on if my body changes, then that may be a time where I'm like, okay, I need to start taking care of myself a little bit better. If I notice, my physical and mental has changed. So I typically go take vacations and go hang out with my people or watch Netflix. And I'm a big sports girly, so I watch basketball. That has really taken my mind off a lot. I'm a basketball girly.
Me, I like to go travel with my family and the kids. I call my mom, I call my sister. So like I have my people that I'm like, when I just need to call and just unwind, I can just go ahead and call them. But a lot of times it's just doing mindless behavior. Like I'll watch a show that I don't have to pay attention to, so I can be on my phone. That like The Handmaid's Tale or something like that. Or me and Abel take the kids out and I like The Handmaid's Tale. Me and Abel take the kids
What a mindless show.
That ain't mindless. I'd be all into
Not
that.
at all.
Well, not when you watch it 3 times.
Oh, you watch it.
Never mind.
So just like okay, let's take the kids to the circus. Like I just throw myself into my family because those are my people.
Yeah,
man. Auntie Key said she pay attention to her physiological signs. If she heart start to beat and she get hot, I'm in a bad space right now. If I get hot, I don't know if it's because I'm triggered or because it's a hot flash. I don't know which one it is.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I've been so anxious the past year and a half. I really just been trying to like work on myself to get myself in a stable state, relaxing state. So when that state is like disrupted, I notice real quick. So yeah.
But do you find that you have learned how to quickly regulate after that?
Yeah, I will say that. I've because I think when you regulate after that, I think it's important to, have those tools. And because we're all therapists or have been all therapists at one point, we have those tools in the toolbox. So I will say that's what I feel like that's what separates therapists from regular people, because we have tools to do that. Now, I think it'd be different if I didn't have those tools and I didn't know what to do with my anger. I didn't know what to do with my anxiety, but now I do. I do know. And if I really do need to call somebody and like cry, like I did 2 weeks ago with Suge, I called Suge because I was so upset about what happened. So, and I noticed myself all week, not just being emotionally dysregulated, just not being able to focus, not being able to like feel calm, a sense of calmness. So I knew, okay, you're off, you're triggered, you need to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you, everyone. And y'all finish up. Let me know if there's anything that I need to hear about.
Okay.
Love you. Good night.
Bye.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Bye. Anyway. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Really?
Chicken
You
grease.
know she off.
It do look good. Because I was like, dang, I need something to eat too.
You do.
Listen, my stomach was touching my back
Same. Zeph cooked dinner tonight, and she brought it in to me, and I was like, I ain't gonna eat on camera. And I was like, no, I'm hungry. This not gonna
I
happen.
thought this was the clinical cookout. The whole bane of our existence was to be eating on camera at the clinical
You
cookout,
right.
and I just
You
decided
right.
like,
'Cause I ain't got nothing but spit. So I was over here looking around like, what am I gonna eat? Can't find nothing.
Lord.
so I realized that this is at the time where I have to take my daughter to gymnastics. I work out so hard all day, um, and then like, I mean, I'm eating little vittles all day. So I'm like, at dinner time, I'm about to go in. I got some chicken, some cabbage, some rice, and some hot water cornbread. I'm not playing.
Lord,
Speaking
listen.
of cabbage, I got to eat Jamaican chicken in Dallas this past weekend. They have Jamaican cabbage. I have never tasted something so crisp and good.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamaican food be hitting, man. Listen,
Dang.
I realized here's a bad thing that I don't want anybody to do. Don't go all day without eating. I realized that I went all day and didn't eat today. Like nothing. That's why I was starving. Don't do that. Take care of yourselves, okay?
No, and it hurts too. Like it's physical. Like
Yeah,
for
you
me,
get
if I don't
stomach
eat
cramp.
like that, especially, yeah, I'm doing insanity, and so like I'm like I have to eat.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be snatched, but I ain't about to be hungry.
Listen, she said, y'all better eat. I'm eating. Good. Eat at the
Right.
clinical cookout. That's what we
Right. You
used to all the
supposed
time.
to. Matter of fact, the next time we do a live, I need y'all to be eating the time when y'all show up because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yep. Had y'all food
Yes, Chrissy,
ready.
hot water cornbread. I took it
That's
back.
the best cornbread. Hot water
Listen,
cornbread.
she did. She took it back with that. That's old school.
My grandma used to do that. I loved it.
Speaking of hot water cornbread, is everybody ready for the holidays? Because we are coming up. I want to get everybody prepared. The clinical cookout is coming up on its break time between seasons. After right before Thanksgiving, the season ends right before Thanksgiving. So got a few more episodes for y'all and one more live in November. But are y'all ready for the holiday season? Because I'm really not. I ain't feeling it because it's just too much in the world going on. So I'm just like, is everybody ready for
We
the
ain't slowed down
holidays?
since January.
What'd you say?
I said we ain't slowed down. This world ain't slowed down since January. Cat Williams said everything was gonna be up revealed. Now every month there's something going on.
It's a fire every month. Every
Month.
And I mean, it's always been a fire every month. It's just magnified now, and we can always just see it all.
Yep.
So I ain't ready for the holidays financially, but emotionally and mentally, I'm ready to eat. Like I can't wait. I love Halloween. I can't wait to pass out the candy and see the costumes. That really does bring me joy. And I want to scare some of the kids. Like now I got one of those porches that like I can sit somebody on there. Maybe I'll sit Abe. Abe is he's
You gonna get Abe. You gonna get Abe punched in the face. That's what's gonna happen.
No, I gotta get punched in the face. I gotta do. I'm gonna sit still, and I think I'm gonna pop up and scare somebody. Like every few kids. So I'm ready for stuff like that.
I am ready for Halloween. I love Halloween. That's my favorite time. Love to watch scary movies. So that's my favorite time of the year. And Thanksgiving.
I'm ready for the food. Like Auntie Shug said, financially, holidays, absolutely not. But I am ready for the food and get my eat on and making me some dressing and some fried turkey, some macaroni, baked macaroni and cheese. I'm ready for that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's keeping me grounded right now is the things my kids are doing. Like my youngest son and my other son are in football, and my youngest son's team is going to the championship game. And Zeph is getting ready for homecoming, and so I'm that's the part that I'm focused on, the happy moments for my kids.
Yeah, good.
Because holiday season, ooh, I just want to eat. I don't want the holidays themselves.
Yeah.
You should be.
Well, I do want to scare the kids. I'm sorry.
Suge is absolutely the one who was scared.
Listen, Isaac walked in the house today. I was like, oh, he's like, oh, you almost gave me a mini heart attack. I was just in that stupid mood, but no. So, we are thinking of doing a little bit more, like, a lot more interactive things this year, especially after the holidays and everything like that. We're trying to get into some webinars and everything like that. So if you guys could continue to be supportive as y'all have, we would appreciate you. We love you. We haven't been putting out as much content lately just because I've been moving, Auntie Amber is moving, and Auntie Ashley just moved, and Keisha is always moving. So
Like I didn't even move.
I will be because I can't wait till this lease is up.
yes, and so I mean, we just kind of had a lot going on, so we kind of had to like we've kind of scaled back, and I mean, I don't even think we scaled back too much. I just think that life is lifing. So if life is lifing for y'all, let us know. Ask questions so that we can answer some questions. We love the interaction. Let's pull somebody on here who want to come on here and talk with us. Like, let's do it. Come on.
Send your questions via message. We can get them that way. We can answer that way. I think the more and more we talk about mental health, the more it will be not such a taboo subject. We can actually start normalizing speaking about mental health.
Exactly. And we know y'all got questions. You know how I know y'all got questions? Because I'll be seeing stuff on the timeline and I'll be like, now, why didn't they just ask that question to us? Why don't y'all just reach out? Y'all be having questions and I'll be seeing people in the comment section of different posts. And I'm like, these are questions that you would ask the aunties. These are things that fall into the mental health realm. So ask your questions. You said, I have a question further up. What? Whoa, did we miss a question? I thought I got all the questions tonight. I was tapping all the comments. Wait a minute. I'm going to go see if we missed one. Hold on. I'm going to go see. I don't want to hang up without answering nobody's question. I see a lot of your comments. I don't see a question. Do you mind typing it again if you had a question? Because we can answer it real quick. We sure can. I don't see it.
I don't either. I just see the comments. Let's go, beauty.
Oh yeah, we always good for bringing people on. If you have a certain topic that you want to discuss that you either you work in it or you just know a lot about it, you could be a guest on one of the episodes, the regular episodes, or on live. If we talk about something and you want to pop up here with us, we can send you a link so you can come on. Like we find bringing people up that want to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
She said, okay, hold on. We gonna wait for you to ask that question. So we gonna stick around for a minute so you can get your question in.
Oh.
Ooh, goodness.
Thank y'all for listening to my foolish story today. I've been waiting for this live so I can blast everybody. I was like, oh, I'm blasting it.
It wasn't a foolish story. It's reality. Like, and there's more people who go through. If you a doctor and go through that, imagine the people who don't got a doctorate, who go through that and ain't able to speak up or don't have a platform to speak up on, and just have to go through life with the system with people like that in it that continue to push them to the wayside.
Yep.
Well, I am gonna say your girl had an interview today, and it was informal, but it went well. So much so that they want to see me for number 2 on Friday. And I was told I love your personality. And I mean, I know I'm a time, so people be tripping.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a time. Y'all tripping.
I'm a time. You are
positive. That is positive self-talk. We all need to do that more. Talk positively about yourself. You know you a good time. You a good time.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about tips for your doctorate program?
Oh, that one. I thought that was
that's what the question was.
I think that's what it was.
Telling us she was in it. Okay.
So one tip that I would give you for being in a doctorate program is pace yourself. The only race you run is against yourself. I hate when people try to compete with other people. I think that is the most asinine thing ever. Like, you only run a race against yourself. So if this class ain't for you at this time, then it's okay for you to say, okay, I can't do that class right now. I have to come back to it. Not, I really want to do it because such and such is going to see me if I stop doing it, or if I'm going to drop out of it. Pace yourself and give yourself grace, and B's get degrees.
Suge had to tell me that a lot, because I'm that person that when I'm in school, I'm like, I gotta get A's. I gotta get an A. I gotta pass this. She like, girl, you gonna get a degree regardless.
Like, nobody's gonna say like, wait a minute, did you get a B in clinical psych? You're not that good of a doctor. Nobody's gonna say that. They're gonna still call you doctor.
Oh, she said the longer messages isn't going through. I see it in the chat, but y'all can't see it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I don't see it. They do give you only a certain amount of characters, so if it's too many characters, it'll cut it.
Yeah. I would say if the question is pertaining to a doctorate program, I would say life continues to life, and that was one of the things that kind of caught me off guard being in a doctorate program, because there are things that are going to happen during that time. Oh, that is not what you were asking about.
That was not. We were off base. Okay.
Well, let me back up.
Yeah.
Tips for ongoing parenting: a 18-year-old. My daughter was a runaway. So I just had a conversation earlier today with a couple of my prac and intern students, and they were also talking about, just having a hard time, with teenagers. And so I shared with them that one of the main things that teenagers want is shared power. And I feel like it's a difficult developmental period for a lot of parents when your child is a teen, because there's so many emotions going on. There's so many things going on in their life. There's probably things going on in your life. So I would say, have y'all thought about it? Well, first of all, let me clarify. Is your daughter home now, or is she still away? That's what I need to clarify. Because if she's at home now, then I'm wondering what that healing looks like right now. Like, where y'all at? Maybe getting some family therapy could be helpful.
I would say keeping an open dialogue. Teenagers are very, very hard because you could not do anything but breathe wrong, and they're mad about it. And as a parent, you're like, who you know what I mean? Like you tend to want to flex. And so just keeping that open dialogue, like let's talk about everything. One thing that I think that you could do, that I plan on starting to do, is get like a joint diary, right? So one day just write, things I want you to know. Like that's what I'm gonna call it. What do you like? Things I want you to know, and just write what you want her to know today. Like I want you to know I love you. I want you to know I'm here for you. I want you to know that that I respect you, and even though it may not feel like it sometimes, you really are a dope person, and we might struggle. You know what I mean? Like start to write like little things like daily, and then encourage her like, okay, make sure you write me back. So then that way y'all are communicating like that too, and it's less awkward for her. And you know what I mean? It's more so like, okay, we got to share a diary. So that's the thing that I've been thinking about lately. Oh, I'm a person.
And I would say, so you mentioned that you just got her back 5 months ago. She's with you now, but you lost the time. So need that when you've lost time with somebody, a rebuilding period and phase is necessary. You are actually rebuilding. So it can't be, oh, we jump right back into I'm your mama and I tell you what to do. I need to know where it can't jump back into that. It has to rebuild on both of y'all ends, because she has to rebuild with you. You have to rebuild with her. Trust has to be rebuilt. Because a lot of times when we have breakdowns in family dynamics, it's because trust has been broken down or there's some type of trauma involved. So you wanna understand each other versus see each other for what the past shows you. So you learning each other at a new stage now.
And go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna reiterate going to therapy together if that's an option for you, because sometimes when we try to communicate with our teens, they see things differently when it's coming from mom versus when it's coming from a neutral party. So what you may not intentionally try to hurt or say something in a way, she may perceive it differently because you're mom. So having that neutral person in the room could help you build those effective communication skills. Because what I often see between parents and teenagers is that they both want the same goal. They just don't know how to get there. And their communication or their breakdown in communication prevents them from getting to that point. So I think that, having a neutral party, it sometimes only got to be a therapist. It could be a life coach. It could be somebody that can help you work on that effective communication. And yes, effective communication goes a part of what Ashley was saying about rebuilding that relationship. And joint diary is also is communication. That's also communication as well. So you can do it in different ways. But I think it would be absolutely helpful to have a neutral person to kind of give y'all both an outside view looking in, because you're both going to come from an emotional place. Because you were just saying you had PTSD, checking her location all the time. So there's some anxiety on your part as to what the framework of your daughter's behaviors look like. So if it's coming from a trauma lens, it's going to be really hard for you to take that trauma lens off to look at it from a neutral space. So I would definitely get a third party involved.
Yep. And realize if you lost 3 years, I'm thinking she was 14 or 15. She's 18 now. So again, that's a different place in life. That's a different developmental stage. We never stop parenting, but our kids do become adults and they get older. So 18 for me is not grown. I always say that, but 18 is a different developmental stage. So she is looking for you to also trust her on a different level than you would trust a 14-year-old. So that is going to involve figuring out boundaries together. Because if she's living with you, regardless of her age, boundaries are had within a household. So figuring out boundaries together, compromising on certain things together, and really like having that neutral party that can talk to you both.
Yep. Yep. Those are just our thoughts.
I'm very happy that you got her back too. Like that, I know that's scary.
She said she's definitely doing the family therapy. I just stay quiet when I have to tell her something or think really hard about how to bring things up.
Yeah.
You don't want to walk on eggshells now. That's not what you want to do either. You don't have to walk on eggshells. You just have to figure out the best way to communicate that she understands and that you also get your point across. And there's a way to do that. There's nothing wrong with assertive communication. There's nothing wrong with clear, direct communication. It's just about, making sure you stay consistent with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Try the joint diary. I'm very excited to see how that works.
Yeah, joint diary is dope. I tell people to write all the time because sometimes we are better at writing our thoughts versus saying them to somebody. So joint diary is really cool.
Yeah. And I will say this before you go, like sometimes we think we have to solve the problem right now. We don't got to solve the problem right now. And sometimes I think parents tend to look for solutions instead of actually addressing or healing through the journey. You're not going to get to the end stage tomorrow or even next week or hell, maybe even 2-3 months. This is going to take time and this is going to be very scary. I always tell my parents that, yeah, it is going to be scary. It is going to be hard. And you are going to have a little bit of, like I said, that trauma lens on because, y'all done already been through some hard stuff. So just trust the process is what I'm saying. Parents can get very antsy wanting to get a solution, and sometimes we don't have one right now, and it's okay to build on that.
Yep. And sometimes the solution is in the journey. That's where the solution comes. It's not a clear-cut solution. It's a gradual piece-by-piece solution, and it's a part of the journey. So don't rush it.
And give yourself some grace. That's one thing I always tell my parents. Give yourself some grace. A lot of parents will blame themselves, start to shame themselves, and internalize that. Give yourself some grace. All parents do not have it figured out. Sometimes we got to fly by the seat of our pants to try to figure it out. You cannot control what another human is going to do. All you can do is do your best. Yes.
Well, you're doing everything that you're doing everything to make this work out the best way that it can. You in therapy, y'all family therapy, you asking the questions that you need to ask. And it is hard to take a trauma lens off, but it's not impossible. It happens. It just happens over time. It's a progressive type of thing. And every now and then you might see something through that trauma lens, and that's okay. It's just because you heal and grow don't mean that lens won't pop back up every now and then. It will, and that's fine because we're human.
And I heard a good quote on that. They talked about how the wound, like a trauma wound or just a wound, is going to hurt. It's supposed to. The point is that you are supposed to heal through it. Like it's going to re-trigger you. It's going to open up wounds for you again. That's what it's supposed to do. So as long as you're doing the work and attempting to do the work, you'll build the tools.
Yep.
Yep.
If you're working on it, then listen, shame is something that's a whole nother. I think we should do an episode on shame. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Your body doesn't believe it yet. Your body won't believe it yet. Your body doesn't catch up to what you processing in your mind sometimes. Your body reacts to the traumas. So your body won't necessarily be where your mind is or where you're telling yourself to be, which is why Auntie Keish saying show yourself some grace is very important, because it's okay that your body isn't there yet. It's not necessarily supposed to be. It's healing.
Your body keeps the score. But no, let us know. And if you have any more questions, just send them through our links. Like, what is it? Send them through our messenger, any one of our platforms. And we would love to, next time we're on live, to kind of get to answering your questions. So
you can send them through Facebook Messenger. You can send them through the IG direct message, or on our TikTok page. You can send it through the direct message there. So that is where everything is. And also, I don't know if we have it on our website, a contact button or not. I'm not sure. But our email is listed on our website. So if you go to theclinicalcookout.org, you could also email us if you need to. All right. Well, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Thank y'all for joining us. Remember, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, just be there in support for people who are going through any type of cancer, but specifically breast cancer for this month. And keep your thoughts and prayers towards Florida and any place that will be affected by these crazy storms that we are having. And y'all, make sure y'all join us next week. I'm not sure what episode we drop in next week, but we'll be out here. All right. All right, y'all. We will see y'all next week at the Clinical Cookout.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.